We are the Sklar Brothers, and this is Prediction. And we are on the show today going to talk to the great Tyler Morris, wide receiver for the University of Michigan. Injured last week, coming back this week in anticipation of the USC game. Jay, it's been a topsy-turvy, turbulent year for a lot of Michigan football fans because, look, we just came off three of the best years in the history of the program. I would argue, put these three up years against anybody because of all the parity in the league, how difficult it is to get to the mountaintop, the fact that we beat Ohio State three times, won the Big Ten championship three times in a row, won a national championship, went to the playoff three times. That's incredible. That was the promise of what Jim Harbaugh was here to do, was to fulfill that. You know, now Jim Harbaugh's in the NFL. He's got the Chargers playing great. And you realize what a great coach he really was and the impact he had. Mike McDonald has got the Seahawks playing great. You realize how great the brain trust was on this team and the reason why J.J. McCarthy, a top 10 pick in the NFL draft, and 18 players that are going to make it to the league, 15, 16, 17, I don't know, because there's some undrafted free agents that are going to make it and have made it. So it's just an incredible team. And here we are right now saying, okay, we're 2-1. What's going to happen? If we lose to USC, what's going to happen? So there's a lot of angst within the fan base right now. I want to know from Tyler, as we talk to him, and from you guys, fans, what are you curious about? And so there's a little participate button down the right that you can click on, and you can ask questions to us or Tyler Morris. Jay, what are your thoughts before we get into this?
I agree with you. This is an inflection point, this game. There's no doubt about it in this season. It's not too early to say this is a big, big game in our season, even bigger than I think we thought it was going to be before the season. And part of that,
you didn't think USC was going to be as good, and you didn't think we would have the trouble that we had so far
with Texas. But I think, look, if you think of Michigan as like Michigan football as like a restaurant, last year was an amazing brunch and lunch service.
Yeah.
Now we're switching over to the dinner service.
Yeah, it's got different plates, different timing.
Different wait staff. You got different things going on. We don't know how we're going to react.
How is the front of house and back of house working hand in hand? We need that working better together.
I watched the Bear. I know the Bear got a lot of Emmys last night. So this is essentially we have a situation where some fans are hitting the panic button. Randy and I at times in game might be hitting the panic button in our minds. But if you look at the overall picture, we have to say to ourselves, this is a team that's learning. This is a team that's growing and figuring out who they are. A huge step towards defining who they are this week was today the announcement that Alex Orji will be the starting quarterback on
the Orji era. It will be an orgy. It is an orgy era. I've longed for the orgy. Let the orgy begin. Let the orgy.
Let as many people enjoy it as possible.
Right. Bring people into the orgy era. That's what we say, and we'll see what happens. It's all going to be about matchups, and I hope the coaching staff will understand and make use of that and make use of the fact that Alex Orji is a mismatch and suddenly Donovan Edwards as a receiver is a mismatch and he and Kalel Mullings in the backfield together, it's a mismatch. I want Colson Loveland back and healthy. I liked Marlon Klein, 2 tight ends, whatever. Tyler Morris, he's going to be healthy. Let's get him back in there. And I can't wait to get into it, chop it up with him, hear you guys. And here's some of the questions that you have. Again, we should mention, or we didn't mention yet, but we should mention we're going to be in Ann Arbor doing a show at the Michigan Theater on September 27th, which is a Friday night. Cannot wait. I think this is so cool, this whole thing, because Jay and I have done Jim Rome's radio show. We've done our podcast, and we've done Kentucky Sports Radio.
We've guest hosted Sports Nation on ESPN.
Rich Eisen show. So we've done a lot of this type of stuff, but this is really cool because you, the fans, and who's listening and paying attention, you get to just click that participate button. And if you have a question, you can ask us or Tyler. We'll filter it through. And so anyway, we talked, for those who couldn't hear the sound at the beginning, we just talked about how this is an interesting point in time for the Michigan football team in that they, you won a national championship. You had 3 years of just tremendous ascension after the terrible COVID year that was really difficult. And you had a generational quarterback that went top 10. You had a Joe Moore award-winning line that happened 2 years in a row and then a semifinalist in that. You had multiple guys go to the NFL, and even undrafted free agents making teams. There are about 17, 18 guys that really contributed to last year's team, and there was depth, and you see all the things it takes. And you look at Jim Harbaugh in the NFL right now. He took a Chargers team that, let's face it, was underperforming, and they're 2-0 right now. You see how good and how many things had to come together. Look at Mike McDonald, got Seattle rolling the way he can, and Jesse Minter playing, being a great defensive coordinator in the NFL. So a lot of things came together to cause what happened last year, even despite everything. And so I am very excited that I think that was an amazing run, and now we're into a new run. And yes, we're in uncharted territory. Yes, we had a tough game against Texas. They're now ranked
but all of
one.
all of our goals are still ahead of us.
And this Saturday, 3:30 USC. This is a test game. This is going to be great. So, Jay, I say we bring in Tyler Morris, the great Tyler Morris. Made one of the greatest plays in Rose Bowl history. It will go down in history, as we were there in the second row and watched him just smoke a defender and just take it to the house. Let's bring in Tyler Morris right now. Tyler, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you?
We're good.
Great.
We're good. Great. And first of all, I guess the first question I'll ask you is, how you feeling? How you doing? I know you're working through some stuff injury-wise, but how you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling better than I was last week, so I think it should be all good for USC.
Great, and I know you want to be there. I mean, Arkansas State is they played tough. Give them credit; they definitely played tough. But I feel like we thought, okay, if we need to rest you in that game, like we need you against USC. And so, talk to me about the excitement of playing a program. First of all, they're ranked 11th. They've played well their first two games. What are you guys kind of seeing as you start to look at their film? You start to look at their defense. It's an improved defense. Last couple of years was a little bit of a turnstile defense, but they've improved. What are you sort of thinking, and what are you seeing as you look at USC coming up this Saturday?
We're just excited for another opportunity to play a good team. Like you said, they're ranked 11th. It's their first year in the Big Ten, a pretty historic program. So for us, we're just, excited to, get another one of these big games and go out and perform.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that Michigan has had the path it's had so far this year. And I think it's an interesting position to be from, to have outside pundits saying, I don't know if Michigan can beat USC, because that puts a chip on the shoulder of the players. I know that. Talk about that in terms of like how that motivates you when you or other people saying, I don't know if Michigan can beat USC this weekend.
Really, it's not too much different than what we feel like it's always been. Since I've been here, it's always been talking to media how we can't do this, we can't do that. So to be honest, we just see it as another situation like that where we're being doubted, and it just puts a chip on our shoulder, like you said, just to go out and prove ourselves right.
So today, Sharon Moore at the press conference said, all right, we're going to go with Alex Orji. Is that the first you heard of it, or is that the first time you're hearing, or did he talk to you guys on Saturday and let you know, even the offensive players, look, we're going to switch to Alex right now? When did he let you know?
No, that was the first I heard of it. I was actually in the locker room today and just saw something pop up on my phone. So yeah, that was the first we heard of it. But we're ready and going to support whoever's starting.
He's an explosive player,
and he's a different type quarterback. So talk to me as a receiver, because you look at him, and I think there's a real opportunity for this guy with his legs to move out of the pocket, extend plays. So how are you as a receiver thinking, okay, this is my route, but I might have to break this off and try and be there for him and find him? At what point in your brain do you say, I got to break this route off and try and get somewhere else?
I mean, just like you're saying, we understand that he's, a freak athlete and can make a lot of things happen with his legs.
So talk to me about the offensive line. Have you seen even more as it's, they've shuffled some, trying to find the five guys who are going to kind of step in there for you? Are you seeing more chemistry week in and week out, and seeing this team kind of sort of the guys up front start to, because they did a great job run blocking last week. I really felt like they put some things together. What are you seeing from inside the building?
Yeah, I think it takes time with the offensive line, because, they play as a unit. They need communication and chemistry, and I really think that comes with time. So, the as we get more into the season and play more games, and they're able to just pick up more on what defenses are playing, and just work with each other, figure out how each other is thinking. I think they're definitely going to grow.
Yeah, man, I can't get 5 people to make a dinner plan. So I don't know how they get 5 people on the same page for anything. So
I agree. So, all right, I'm going to paint the picture for you, Tyler, and you tell me, because this may happen. So you're lining up. You see the 2 safeties come down, and they're about 8 yards off the line because they're like, Alex is going to run. He's either going to hand it off or he's going to keep it himself, read the defensive end crashing down. Are you licking your chops like, I'm going to double move this dude out here and just try and take off? And if they're going to play that far down, we got to make them pay. And you're just the guy to do that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it comes down to what play is called. But
of course,
if they call something where I'm, seeing that look, then yeah, as receivers, we see that and we just waiting for the ball to be snapped because, we excited to see it as a chance to throw it over their heads.
A lot of people, and we should let some people come in and ask some questions here in a bit. But I just, what's interesting to me is I love the sets when you've got both Khalil Mullings, who, by the way, has been playing lights out. That dude is actually fully actualizing who he is as a football player. Mm-hmm. He and Donovan in the backfield, to me, is super exciting and presents matchup changes. And even letting Donovan go out wide as like another receiver. I mean, what are those sets? How do you feel about sets like that? I know it's, it kind of creates more maybe mismatches out there and maybe even open stuff up for you.
Yeah, I mean, I like it because I think, with both of them in the backfield, that gives the defense more to worry about in the run game. So, depending on how they want to play it, that you're right. Like that does open stuff up for me. But it's it's great to any chance you can have both of them out on the field together. Both huge playmakers, and both can make something happen at any point in time.
What did you think about Marlon Klein this past week? Obviously, Colston Loveland, C-Love goes down. Hopefully he's okay. I hope you. How's he doing? Is he practicing this week? What's he doing?
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing good.
So, but Marlon Klein showed some stuff. I mean, he's got some speed, and I do like the idea of a guy that big blocking like a safety or a corner, just blowing them up. You know what I mean? So even a linebacker, he's got height and he's got leverage in that way. So, but also the route he ran to catch that 33-yard pass, is that, tell me what you guys are seeing in practice from him, that when that happened, where we were really excited, you're like, okay, that we knew that was coming.
We know that's coming. Yeah, we know.
Yeah, I mean, as a team, we've been seeing that for a while. He's like you said, a big guy. He can run. Probably one of the fastest on the team, to be honest.
That's amazing for as big as he is. I mean, he's huge.
When he opens up, he can move. So we weren't really too surprised about it, but I think he's another player that we're excited to see what he does this year because we've seen it for a while now in practice.
Yeah, I'm excited, Jay. So if anybody wants to participate, all you got to do is go down to the bottom right, click that participate, ask a question, and we'll answer them. With Tyler Morris is with us, talking about USC. We mentioned before USC, their defense improved. They always have a lot of playmakers. They have a lot of talent. In the cornerback room is always pretty talented, and all their skill players on offense.
Their skill positions are generally highly, especially for Lincoln Riley. That's a guy who recruits the quarterback well and recruits the receivers well and the DBs. So what do you look for in this team? What do you see in their secondary and how they've beefed up a little bit on their defensive side of the ball?
I mean, that definitely a solid team. We saw that with them playing LSU, and then honestly, just from film, like they look good. Like you said, they got athletes. They're playing good football. They're not ranked 11th for no reason.
Right.
So as we go up through the week, and build a game plan, it's just find the weaknesses in their game, and how trying to find ways we can take advantage of them.
That's good. And the idea of complementary football, the offense and the defense, just playing in such a way where the offense can maybe with Alex, you're sustaining drives a little bit longer. You're moving in and you're sustaining drives. You're keeping the defense fresh for when they get back out there. Is that the plan too? Do you guys talk about that, complementary football? And then we have a question from Steven coming up. So what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it all the time as a full team. Just, the better we play, the better it allows the defense to play. The better they play, faster they can get off the field. The more time we get. We talk a lot about winning the time of possession. And that's something that's real. You can hold the ball, and then you got more of a chance to win. And it's real important to get the defense off the field as fast as you can.
Yeah, that's great. As they're trying to keep and get you guys back on the field as fast as they can, and they do a good job of that. So you guys have a kicker this year that is just, I mean, Zvada has been lights out. Yeah. How amazing is that? And as a weapon, especially if you're going down in a tough game, you look at Georgia, Kentucky. I don't know if you watched any of that game or saw the end of that game. It's a 13-12 game. Mm-hmm. If you got a big Z behind you and you're like, okay, we can maybe try a 58-yard field goal.
Get to the 40. Get to the 40
and let this guy rip it. I mean, how good does that feel?
It's great. And knowing that, just if it comes down to a situation like that, we got somebody we trust. I was joking with him during the game. I was like, I don't know where the ball was, but it was far. And I was like, you good from right here?
This is it. You're ready.
Like, anywhere inside the 50, I'm good. So,
dude, I love that attitude.
He's confident. So, I love seeing that from him, just where he knows what he can do and he's confident in himself.
I love that. All right, should we bring Steven in? Let's bring Steven in. If he's around, we'll bring him in to ask questions. There he is, buddy. This is Tyler. This is a good fan of ours and a friend of ours and a really good dude. He's calling from Connecticut. How you doing, Steven?
I'm doing great, guys. It's great to get the technology all working. This is fantastic. Yep. I feel like I'm right there with you. The one thing that doesn't seem to be working is normally your attitude is so pessimistic about everything. I'm seeing smiles on your faces.
So
we're with Tyler.
We're with Tyler Morris.
Forward. What have you done with the real Sklar Brothers?
We've replaced the real Sklar. We're taking Zavada. Doesn't that sound like a medicine? Ask your doctor what
Zavada can do for you.
I mean, we are being positive. We're trying a positive way. That's like, Jay and I get very we're the crazy fans that just get very, very upset about things. And Tyler, it's not pretty. You know what I mean? It's funny because the fans freak out about stuff so much more than the players do. I mean, don't you feel like every time you step out on the field, every time you reach up and touch the banner, that's a great point, Steven, that you're like, we're going to win this game. We can win. No one ever is like, this is going to be tough. You're not looking at the 11 USC coming in here being like, I'm scared of these guys. You're like, we're going to take these fools.
Yeah, I mean, it's something where, we in the building, this is what we do every day. So, and we understand that if you go into a game thinking you lost and you already lost. So, we'll never feel like that. No matter who we play. And, we respect everybody, but we never going to be scared or worried to play a team.
So, Steven, that is a great question. And as fans, I think we do need to be more positive. We need to, because you never know. And literally looking at this situation this weekend, this is a season turning point here. It's not the end of the world if you don't win this game. But if you do win this game, people start looking at this team a little differently, because suddenly you look at, Washington lost in the Apple Cup to Washington State, and maybe they're not. You got to go to Seattle and play these guys, Tyler. That's your first road game, and we're not looking ahead. But I'm just thinking to myself, okay, maybe it's doable. Maybe Oregon, almost lost to Idaho State or whoever they were playing. Like there are pathways to victories in all of your games if you can get this one this weekend. So it's big. Are you guys, Tyler, feeling that this is a big turning point on the season right now, or a hinge point right here?
I mean, I think we understand that this is a real important game, but at the same time, something like our coaches and just, as a whole, we've talked about is let's go 1-0 this week. Like, let's not look too far into the future and, focus on that, because, what's important is now. So,
yeah,
understand it's a big week, and it's, yes, it does have a lot to do with, how the team is going to be looked at and all of that. Right. But, if we focus on all that other stuff, then we're not going to take care of this week.
What did Ronnie Bell say? Be where your feet are. Our feet are right here. It's right here. It's right now. Stephen, we love you. Thank you. We're going to say,
thank you for being where your
stay in
feet
the
were,
chat.
Stephen.
Thank you for being where you are. You're always where you need to be. Stephen Elton Yates. Thanks for
My
coming
pleasure.
in, man. We'll take some other guests. We have other guests. Who do we have jumping in the chat right now to ask a question? Okay.
All right, so we got someone coming in a minute. While we're waiting for someone, we should mention Randy and I are going to be in Ann Arbor for Minnesota weekend. That's Alumni Family Weekend. We're doing a show at the Michigan Theater on Friday night.
Yeah,
Tyler won't be able to be there. He's prepping for the game.
He's prepping for the game, but Tyler's going to tell everyone to come to the show. Michigan Theater, it's a great place. And Tyler, you're a junior. My daughter's a sophomore there at Michigan. Let me ask you this. How has the academics of Michigan and just the environment outside of football, I know you're in the building all the time, but there's something special about Michigan. They talk about the Michigan man, the Michigan woman, and whatnot. I know my daughter's having the best time ever, and it's just she's surrounded by good, smart, dynamic, interesting people. Are you finding that in your classes and when you walk around campus, just who you're interacting with?
Yeah, just I think pretty often, you get into conversations with people and, just get talking a little bit more about their life, or, sometimes the football team will have us talk to alumni. Like we had something over summer where football alumni were coming back and just talking to us about like life after football and what they got into. And, you start to realize fast that there's a lot of people with a lot going on all around you. And, so you start to realize this is a special place and, there's a lot of opportunities to do great things in life, simply by just going here and, talking to people.
Yeah, the degree means something. Absolutely. All right, we got a guest on right now. Paul, we're going to bring him in. Paul, how you doing, buddy? How's everything going?
I'm great, guys. How are you?
We're great.
Happy to have you. What's your question for us or Tyler? Either of us will answer.
I'm enjoying the chat. Tyler, as an older person, I look at you as an 18-year-old. I want to know what it was like for you to come out of the tunnel for the first time at the big house, seeing over 100,000 people. I mean, I'd be freaked out at my age. I can't imagine being 18 years old and doing that.
When you were a freshman, what was that?
It was an amazing feeling, to be honest. It was definitely one of those moments that you kind of pause and just really take it in. And I think for me too, before I got here, we had COVID during my junior year. So in Illinois, we played a spring season where only family was able to come. And then I played 3 games. I got hurt, missed my whole senior year. So, the first time to come out, my freshman year here, it was amazing just to see an environment like that. Like that's, the stuff you dream of being able to be a part of growing up.
And you made an impact right away. I remember a catch you made in the Nebraska game to get a first down, and you were a part of those teams as soon as you came here. That's a great question, Paul. And Paul, by the way, I didn't think you were old. I thought you were a dude with M&M hair. I thought you had M&M.
I thought you bleached your hair. You're like Joe Burrow.
We're modern elders.
Modern elders.
Yes, sir.
Paul, did you go to Michigan? Did you graduate from Michigan?
I did not. I went to Northeastern.
Northeastern, which, by the way, very hot school right now. Are you a Michigan fan just through how?
I enjoy. A friend of mine told me that you guys were on, so I had to check it out.
I love it.
But can I ask? Can I ask Tyler one more question?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Real quickly, J.J. McCarthy. Any updates on him? And I know you went to school with went to high school with him and college. What's the latest on his health and what's his mindset like?
Thanks,
I mean, it's came out that he'll be missing this season, but I think for him, he's just going to take it as an opportunity. Knowing him for so long, I don't think he's going to be too down on himself, and definitely going to try to make the best of it and just take it as an opportunity to learn. An opportunity to sit back and just grow. So then once it is his chance to really get out there and play, he's done all he could do mentally and physically just to put himself in the best position.
He's going to be great. Paul, thank you so much for your questions and everything. Thanks for joining the chat. We're going to send you out. Stick around. We're going to bring some more people in. It's a great question. I mean, you and JJ were tight in high school. And that's great to be able to play. But you mentioned that you were injured your senior year. Now, we have a running back coming in from IMG, Donovan Johnson. I don't know if you spent any time with him, but had a bad injury his junior year. is now playing in his senior year. What kind of like advice can you give him as far as like, look, your high school might not have gone the way it is, but you have a chance to actually
Make an
just
impact
continue and make an impact on the next level?
Yeah, I mean, injuries is something I feel like at some point playing this sport, you're gonna go through them. There's no really avoiding them. Like this, it's really just part of the game. So
Yep. It's a violent game.
back no, yeah, like it is. But just you gotta. Sometimes you need them, like just to. The way I like to think of them is sometimes like it does give you an opportunity just to sit back a little and just see things from a different perspective. I guess so. And then also
appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it gives you time to sit back and just be able to look at things a little different. And then even like this past week having to sit out, like I was like, it made me mad. Like just having to not.
You want to get in there.
It motivates you. Yeah. It motivates you that, next time you are able to get on the field,
going to make an impact.
What you want to do, and just, I think it's something that makes you appreciate the game more and just understand that you don't want to take this for granted.
Absolutely.
I love it. All right, let's bring someone else in. We got more people asking questions. I love this thing. Prediction. Thank you. They're working on bringing this in. Again, we're going to remind people we're in for the Minnesota game. Excited to see you at the Minnesota game for that alumni and family weekend. We'll be at the Michigan Theater that Friday night, so please come see us. If you're
there's
out
a
there
link,
for
I think, for tickets on the side here if you want to click that link.
You can grab those too. But Tyler, tell us about who has surprised you in the receiving corps. Who have we not seen made an impact yet that you feel like by the end of the year we're going to know? I mean, is it just tell us who has been doing some things that you're like, okay, this guy's about to do some great stuff. And as the sort of offense expands, we're going to see him.
I think we got a couple. Amarion Walker, I think, has a lot of potential to do things. So as the year goes on, I'm sure he's going to make some plays. CJ Charleston, he's made a couple.
He has. The flea flicker. That was a great catch and a great play.
He's a guy I think is definitely going to have some more plays. He's tough, real tough. So I definitely like him as a player. Channing Goodwin, a freshman.
Yeah, tell us about him. What do you like about his game, Channing Goodwin?
He's smart, like real smart. I would say, and I'm not the only one that said this, I think he's the smartest freshman I've seen come in since I've been here.
It's great.
A few other people have said that. He's picked up on offense real fast. I think he's going to do good things here.
I think it's great too. And we in recruiting we picked up Andrew Marsh as a top. Some places have him rated almost in the top 50. He's a great runner. I don't know if you've seen any of his film or seen him run. He has this like easy glide to him and definitely breakaway and, home run speed, as well as the, Jacob Washington, 6'3" from Louisiana. Hopefully we hang on to both of those guys and get them to sign their national letter of intent. But as you start to see those, that sort of recruiting come in, does that get you excited to play with guys like that in the coming year?
Yeah, I mean, just, me being one of the older guys and being here for a while, it's always something I think that we like to, keep track of and, kind of hear who's coming in. So, if, those two being in the room with them is definitely going to be something that'll be good for the room and just, have more guys, different type of play styles. And, I think sometimes I think it's just fun to have, different guys coming in and, being able to see what they can do.
Oh, yeah. You got guys who come in, not only make an impact right away, but whose attitude and style and swagger make a big impact.
Samaj Morgan as that guy. I mean, best post-game quotes ever. The jukebox is a quote machine. He's amazing.
Yeah, I sit right next to him in the meeting room and just, I think that's one of the, I talk to people about this a lot, but I feel like that's one of the best things about being on a football team is you with 100 people every day. So you got a whole bunch of, unique personalities, people from all over the country, people from out the country. And you just get to learn a lot about a lot of people and, have a whole lot of different conversations with people and, get to meet a lot of unique personalities.
Yeah, teach you how to be in a group, which if you're in an office later, later in life, you're doing that, you're always in a group of people. And the skills you gain in a football, in a football environment, learning how to push yourself, learning how to sort of out train and out sort of perform where your sort of status is, like that's life right there. And you're learning these lessons right here and with good people. Do we have anyone else coming in right now? Are we working on that? Currently working on it. Jay, what else? What else can we?
I want to. So obviously, Randy and I are fans, a little bit part of the media, but also fans. I want to give Tyler an opportunity to speak to the fans and give us, so we know how you're feeling. Take your temperature right now as you look forward. You look at this next stretch of games. Obviously, we can start with USC, but as you look forward into this season, how are you feeling, and how is the team feeling as you move forward, and what should we, as fans, like, how should we be feeling? Give us an indicator.
I mean, as a team, I think we're confident. We all have attitude of, Texas, that game happened. It's not something we're happy with, and we understand that it didn't look good, and we're not happy with that at all. But I think it's good how mad we were from that, but we understand that there's a lot that we did to ourselves, and that we need to fix moving forward. So really, we just took that as an opportunity to learn. That's how we see it, is taking from that game, seeing what we need to change, what we need to do right, and applying it to the rest of our season.
So you are an elder statesman. You're a junior now. Who are some of the guys behind the scenes that are vocal leaders, that are sort of when a Texas game like that happens, rounds all you guys up together and says, literally talks to you. If you had to shut the doors and keep the coaches out, who are the first two people to get up and start talking on that team?
I think Josiah Stewart is a big one on the defense. He's not a super loud person, but when something needs to be said, he says it. Max Bredesen, another one that I think fans might not hear about as much, but he's a leader on our team. Obviously, yeah, captain, and but he's gonna get up and he's gonna say a lot, tell us what we need to hear. And really, there's a lot of guys. Colson,
yeah,
he'll talk to the team. KG
he stepped up. Yeah.
And after every practice, we have calling wise words, where coach will call up somebody just to give some wise words and
I love it.
Say. So it's a lot of guys. You hear from a whole bunch of different people, and just it's always a good message, and kind of something I feel like keeps the team together, and always keeps relaying a message.
Yeah, I love that Randy said, who are the two guys? And you named a bunch of guys.
That makes me feel good. I'm going to name a guy right now. We're going to bring it in the chat. Tony. Tony's going to join us right now. What's up, Tony? How are you? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show. You got a question for us or Tyler? We're happy for you and happy to answer it.
I'm good, guys. Thanks for doing this, and good to see you all.
Good to see you.
So I got a couple questions for Tyler. So Tyler, so basically, like, what's the importance of blocking for Michigan receivers with how great the running game is, and what type of buy-in does it take for the receivers coming into the program?
We think, the way we see it as a mindset, or as a room, is it's a mindset. Just wanting to go hit somebody when you get a chance. Coach Bell always tells us, when you get a chance to put your hands on somebody, like, go do it. Don't take that as, something where you don't want to do it as much. And he got a saying where he says, "No block, no rock." So, if you're gonna be out there not blocking it, you're not getting the ball. So yeah, we just see it as an opportunity to go hit somebody. That's not really our job, is to go tackle anybody or nothing like that. So when we get to go block, we want to go put our hands on somebody, and that's our time to be physical throughout the game.
Very good. Nice. Tony, what else?
Who so with present company acknowledged, who are the funny dudes in the locker room?
Yeah, who's funny, and who are the guys who make you laugh in the locker room? That's a great question, Tony.
Yeah, that is a good one. There's a lot. This is a real funny team. Samaj, like you said earlier, definitely
hilarious.
Team. And I spent a lot of time with him. Our lockers right next to each other. Sit next to him in the meeting room. So he's real funny. Jair Hill, he's funny. And And I mean, there's a lot. Coasting is funny. I live with him and Will, so I mean, we always laughing about something.
Great.
Mason, Alex, there's a lot. It's too many to name, really.
Kenneth Grant seems funny to me. I don't know. Am I wrong?
He is, but he's like a quiet funny.
Sneaky funny.
He don't say a whole lot, but when he do, it's funny.
I mean, Tony, that's a great question, but I think it brings up an important thing, which is, there's a certain level when things get intense and there's pressure. There's pressure on this game. There's pressure on a lot of these big games because you play USC and then you play Minnesota, but then you got to go to Washington. Then you have a week, and then you play a tough game. Then you have a week that maybe not as tough, and then you got to play Oregon. Then a week, and then you play. So it's like every other week there's just like a super intense game. Laughter probably just kind of eases the tension a little bit in the locker room. Do you see that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely, I mean, because at the end of the day, we are humans, so nobody wants to sit there and be stressed, all week. So I think that's something that I feel like is important within our team is just
loose,
being able to joke with guys. Yeah, being able to not be so uptight all the time. And obviously, there's a time
who needs to laugh more. Who needs to laugh more?
Yeah. Yeah, who's too serious? You got to loosen them up on the team.
I don't know if there really is any that are too serious. I think everybody does a pretty good job of, there being a time and a place. And I mean, everybody has their days where, they might not have a great practice or something where they might be irritated or, something's going on. But for the most part, I mean, everybody you're able to joke with and they're going to crack jokes back with you. So
diplomatic.
Nice. Any post game meal preferences or rituals or any kind of,
it's a great
I don't
question.
want to say superstitions, but just like, stuff that goes down either in the locker room or at home. And you're like, I got to wear my favorite really stinky ass sock.
Yeah. It's like a thing you do before the games. You're like, I've been doing this since, high school.
Can't
since
stop
like
now.
Pop Warner. I got to do this every time.
I wouldn't say there's anything really superstitious, but I like to just listen to music. I listen to a lot of music. I'm kind of quiet before a game, so
yeah.
What's your playlist?
Yeah, what are you listening to right now?
Country Western. I'm guessing the Dixie Chicks.
No, not Country Western. No.
A lot of music from back home, Chicago rap. That's probably what I'm listening to the most before the game. No Cap, he just dropped the albums. I've been listening to a lot of him, but yeah, that's probably what I'm listening to the most.
You don't get into Detroit rap? You know any Babytron? Come on.
Babytron, little Rio de Young OG.
I know some of the music, but Detroit rap that's not my thing.
Not your thing. You're Chicago guy.
I mean, being in the locker room with a lot of guys, I hear it all the time. So
you hear it all the time. You got to jump into some Serengeti. You know who Serengeti is? He's a Chicago rap. He's good. You got to get into that. Tony, is there anything else? And I love the hat too. Is that Nashville Predators or is that a weird Patriots hat?
Star Trek
so far off. It's actually McLaren. It's McLaren F1.
Very good. I love it.
Who had a really great weekend this past weekend.
Oh yeah, with Tyreek Hill. Yeah, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. Yeah. Do you have any other questions or
No, man, you guys are great. Thank you so much for your time and good luck on the game, man. Really hope you guys come out with the win.
Would love it. As Southern California guys, Tony, we're the same way. I'd love to lord it out. We live in Southern California. So I'll say this. So Tyler, Jay and I we did comedy at the pep rally that was right before the Rose Bowl that they had at the Galen Center, which is like where they play basketball at USC. And our opening joke was, you'll love this. We were like, so great to be here at the Galen Center, the house that USC built and then gave to Reggie Bush's parents.
Oh, boom.
Boom. We did it. We had to lower the boom on them, even though they were like allowing us to be there. I don't even understand that. That was good.
Took shots at them.
All right, let's bring Calvin in. Calvin's got a question for you. We're going to bring him in. Tyler, you're doing great. Appreciate you. Calvin, how are you? Welcome.
What's up, buddy?
It's a great stash. From a guy with a good stash, yours is even better. What do you got, dude?
Well, I got a question that'll pretty much go for everyone, Tyler, both of the brothers. Basically, I work a lot with West Bloomfield, so I know about the Bloomfield package and kind of the people that all come around that area, Samaj, Donovan, and Makari Page, all of them. For Tyler specifically, what kind of camaraderie do you see between them behind the scenes and also field. And also beyond them, kicker Tommy Doman also got a Orchard Lake St. Mary's credit. That's her sister from West Bloomfield High School, the sister school. So do you see much connection with them in the locker room, or when they're kicking, when they're throwing, when they're catching, when they're running?
And your coach, Bellamy, Coach Ron Bellamy, used to be the head coach there. So talk about that West Bloomfield connect over on the U of M team.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually really cool just seeing them all, come from that same high school. Just hearing stories just from, what it was like with him coaching both of them or all three of them. And then, just hearing them talk about each other, especially with them being different ages, just hearing the different perspectives of how, Makari or Donovan saw Samaj when he was, freshman, sophomore in high school, and, just hearing all the different stories really. And, Coach Bell saying how Samaj was always like that and how Donovan was always like that. And, I feel like there's just a lot of funny stories that I hear a lot of them from Coach Bell with him being the head coach and getting to spend a lot of time with all three of them.
That's a great point. And there's the notion also of once you get into school and a guy from a school comes to Michigan and has success, then that school can kind of become a pipeline for the other players coming up underneath. So if they looked up to a guy when they were a freshman, sophomore, and that guy's performing at Michigan, getting playing time, they see a pathway for themselves. Is that kind of the story? That's how we see it, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that it really has to do a lot with the relationship. I think so. When a guy comes in and he's older, and he comes here and he's having success, you already got a friend on the team, pretty much is how I see it. Like, you come in here, you're hearing all these good things. So, I mean, I think it makes it easier just to have somebody that you have a real connection with already, and hearing a lot of good things, and that's something that pushes you to want to be a part of it.
Jaden Davis and Channing Goodwin. You mentioned Channing Goodwin either. They both come from Providence Day. It's like you get that sort of package, and one's throwing the ball to the other guy. So that's a whole other thing. Thank you for the question. Great job. Appreciate it. Keep the stash on lock. Appreciate you.
Of course.
All right, we're going to bring someone else in right now. Tyler, you're doing great. Everything. Do you need anything from us? Are you good?
I'm good. Everything's good.
This is fun, right? Get a chance to just talk shop. It's, what's awesome is, and what I love that you're doing this, and we're going to bring Adam in a second, is that, fans, especially Michigan fans, especially after these last couple of years, like just the joy that you and your players, and you were part of like so many of those teams going up and winning the national championship, the joy that you gave this fan base, all of you guys. It's like they want to tell you. I mean, we want to tell you like how much joy you gave us in, hopefully it continues this year, but that's something that we'll never forget. And it's amazing. So the fans being able to interact with you, this is really cool. We'll bring Adam on right now and see how he's doing. Adam, how you doing?
Hey guys, I'm good. How you doing?
We're great.
Great. Low angle. Love
Low
it.
angle
Hero shot.
guitars hanging in the background.
I was working on it. Yeah.
I love it. What's going on, Adam? What do you got?
Well, kind of what you guys were just talking about, thinking about last season, the big 3 wins. You got Ohio State, the Rose Bowl, national championship. Do you have a personal favorite, Tyler, or in terms of like the post-game locker room atmosphere, was there a highlight among the 3? Can you compare those?
Great question.
I would say probably the Rose Bowl, just because of how historic of a game that was. I think all of them were great, but the Rose Bowl, just for it to you finish it in an overtime, coming out with the win, and for us too, winning that first playoff game, because they lost to Georgia the year before I got there. My freshman year, we lost to TCU, so finally getting that first win in the playoff game. In a game like that, in the Rose Bowl, was amazing. That was, I think, the best feeling.
Is that your favorite ring out of all 4 of the rings you got? People say like the Rose Bowl ring is their favorite ring.
Yeah, no, that's my favorite. Just like I said, just coming from that game and being in the Rose Bowl, that's something that you hear about your whole life.
So Adam, I have a question.
What you did in that game also, I think, probably had some.
Yeah. I know, man. You had that play was incredible. I know people have talked to you about that play across the middle and down the sideline. Our buddy Seth Fisher, who does MGO Blog, I don't know if you read MGO Blog or know what it is. It's amazing. his photographer got the best picture of you holding the pylon. It looked like you were hugging the pylon. It literally got you at that moment. He said, he wanted us to ask, did you keep the pylon? I was like, he's got to keep that thing. Like, just don't even put it back down. Just sneak it back to the bench.
I wish there was too much going on for me to even think about keeping anything or holding on to anything. So
that feeling, your first touchdown as a Wolverine too. Unbelievable, man. Adam, I have a question. You tell me where'd you watch the Rose Bowl, Adam? Were you with friends? Where were you?
Yeah, I was on my couch with my fiance, who's like a new Michigan fan, new to the fold.
Amazing. Great.
Yeah, so that was a really special season for her to
oh my God. You're like, honey, it's not all like this. But anyway.
Yeah, I keep trying to explain.
This is 1 in a million, but who knows? Maybe these guys can repeat. Tyler's into it, right? You guys can. He's not going to guarantee anything, but anything's possible. But I was going to ask because something was said to me, and you must have heard it or seen it, with the Alabama players coming out at the beginning of the game, talking so much smack to you guys. This is what I heard from people who were down on the field. Like they were just the linemen walking over to you and walking over to you guys and just walking past. After you made the stop on defense, the entire team ran towards the Alabama sideline
and just ran in front of them.
Right. What were people saying, and what was that intentional? That like we're now going to give it back what they gave us before the game? Was that what that was, or what was that?
I mean, I think that was part of it was all that, just them. A lot of them coming out, and I mean at the same time we understand that it's a game, people competitive, so people gonna talk trash, and that's what it is, but. With how our season was going and just what everybody was saying about us, we had felt disrespected for so long. So for them to, just do all that before the game and, for the game to end like that and be just that big of a moment, we competitors too. So, after the game in that moment, because, if they won, they would have did the same thing to us. So that's
how let them know. You got to let them know. Let them know. That was a beautiful moment. Adam, thank you. Do you have any more questions for Tyler?
I'll take one more. Are you able to keep up with like the guys in the NFL now? Do you watch those games and the Chargers and that? Or are you guys too busy?
I don't keep up with it too much. Just like it's it's hard for me to keep track of it. But here and there talking to Rome and you talk to him every once in a while. But it's hard for me sometimes to keep up with exactly what's going on.
Yeah, gotcha.
Well, thanks
a lot, guys.
Appreciate you joining this thing, and everybody who's in here for this. This is a blast. We're enjoying it. Thank you to Prediction, and this is all access. These things are so cool, and for us to be able to, this is all access. We're getting a chance to talk to Tyler Morris. How can people follow you on social media, Tyler, so you get that social media, get that bump and shine on that? It's Tyler Morris 2053. Is that right?
25_ Tyler Morris or T Morris 25_.
T Morris 25_. That's on Instagram. That's you on Instagram. Okay, great. You can follow
him. Follow him.
Support him. That's a great way. As give to the collectives. That's another great way to keep great players like Tyler around. I think. Michigan does it a little differently in terms of not just dropping massive bags for people who are unproven, but you get here, you do your thing, and there are NIL possibilities. My question, and we'll bring in another person to ask a question, is have you and is there amongst the team a feeling that NIL has sort of progressed further in the past year or two?
Yeah, I think, just with our program, it's definitely gotten better as as college football, I guess, is, changed and, just with different opportunities with, NIL. So, obviously we excited about it as players. But yeah, we think, they're doing a good job with it here.
But balancing the culture and the NIL, because you don't want a Texas A&M situation where everyone's bought and no one gives a crap about what the culture is. And it's
if you're bought, and then you don't play, then you're
Florida State had great transfers and great, amazing players. They're 0-3 right now.
Right.
I mean, how much do you pay attention to all that stuff? Florida's so down. Florida State is down. That crazy Northern Illinois win against Notre Dame. Do you guys watch that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we see it, obviously, keep up with a lot of college football, just what's going on. And, Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing with us is understanding the culture. When you get here, it's like pretty fast. You learn what everybody's about here, and everybody wants to make money. Everybody sees it as a great opportunity, but money's not everything, and we all understand that, and um, we understand that teams can pay however much they want to, but if there's no real understanding or no want to, and no real culture there, then it's not going to work. So that's something as a team, we don't really talk about money a whole lot. Like, we
That's
talk
good.
about the culture and just focusing on, being the best team we can be.
I love it. All right, we'll bring in another person to ask a question here. Thank you guys for joining in. If you want to, just click the participate button. How you doing, man? Tell us your name and please
Your question.
whatever. Yeah. Oh, can you hear us? Can you see us? I don't know.
Hey guys, what's up, guys?
What's up?
Oh, it's
How are you?
Jonas.
Hey Jason, hey Tyler, how we doing?
Yes. What's up, buddy?
So yeah, I know that it was touched on a little bit at the beginning of the session. So USC's defense is obviously a lot better this year. New DC, a lot of guys in the front seven returning. They've only allowed 20 points on the season so far. So I was wondering how the team's been preparing to take on this new and improved defense. And then I guess you said that like you also found out about Orji being the starter earlier as everyone else. And how do you see the game plan like changing? And then how do you guys prepare for this new and improved defense? And what does the game plan look like now that Orji is officially the starter?
So Jonas just asked you 27 questions. If you can remember them, tell us what you're thinking. A game plan with Orji. How do you expect it to change, and how do you expect it to be a little bit different?
And how do you attack this revamped USC?
How do you attack this revamped USC defense that's only allowed 20 points so far?
I think with Orge, I mean, everybody knows he's a great athlete. So, I'm not exactly sure, how much is going to change. It'll all be stuff that we, have already had in our system. But I mean, I think there's just like I was talking about earlier, is there's just a lot of opportunities for him to extend plays, make plays with his legs, and just opportunity for him to do a lot of different things. And then with their defense, they're a good team. We got a lot of athletes, so it's really just trying to find matchups, find weaknesses in their coverages, and how they play certain things. So as the week goes on, and we watch film and keep building a game plan, that's what it's all going to come down to.
Jonas,
I love it.
I mean, Jonas knows a lot about researching for games, and he did a lot of stuff for Michigan, so he understands the X's and the O's, and how if you're prepared for a team, if you can out prepare the other team, then you can win on some plays, and sometimes it's 3 or 4 plays, right? That makes a difference.
Yeah, Jonas, what did you find in last year in helping to prepare this team? You kind of just did it on your own, just prepped like analytics stuff for the team, which is amazing. I don't know if Tyler even knows what you kind of offered up.
Yeah, so last year with the team, I did analytics. I hope they're still giving out the like analytics reports. Me and I guess I did it my junior year. I graduated last year, so my junior and senior year, I was contacted by a few people who did the analytics reports for you guys, and then I helped run the team last year with 2 other guys. And so we use like data to create scouting reports. And so obviously like if you can get an edge on a couple things by knowing what the other team may do, whatever scenario, just those 2 or 3 plays can make a massive difference.
Right.
And in addition to scheme stuff as well.
Right. Yeah. So that's pretty much what that's what's going on this week is just finding those certain things, and like you said, if we can if that can lead to 2, 3 plays being made, that helps us out. So this week is just all about finding those things and being detailed in how we're practicing and looking to take advantage of those looks.
So I have a question. I have a question about the bye week. That I think is, they had a bye week early. That's an early bye week. I mean, third week bye week is early. So the question is, would you rather have the bye week later in the middle of the season as a chance to get yourself healthy again? They've had 2 weeks to look at you guys and your tendencies, but I also think the beginning of the season is to build your team up. Like you need a flow. Do you feel like maybe that bye week coming early might sort of break up what they're trying to build at a certain point? Because they had some momentum. That bye week might stop them and make them a little rusty.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it, just depends on the team. And, some teams, I mean, it might not matter really in the beginning. It's all about your preference. And, at the end of the day, like, you got a game to play on Saturday. So,
yep.
I think regardless of when the bye week comes, you take that week as a week to, just get extra preparation in. But for me, I would say I probably want it later in the season, kind of like you said. Like I would like to get into a flow, and then get a point in the season where you get a little time to rest your body. So
get everyone healthy. Get it because, like you said, you got dinged up. Get people healthy in that way. Mm-hmm. Jonas,
I have a question for Jonas.
Go ahead.
Specifically, as someone who researched the other teams and did a lot in analytics, how tough of a position is it for the version of you at USC who's trying to do that right now at Michigan when we have a new quarterback who was announced as a starter who we haven't seen the full menu of what he can do? And both of you guys can answer. So I'll start with Jonas, and then Tyler, you can chime in. That unknown factor, whether you've been preparing for 2 weeks or not, you didn't know it was Orgy until today. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. Like you see that factored in the beginning of the year when we do the reports for the first couple games. It'd be really tough to tell because there's so much turnover year to year in college football. So we'd try to use data from the previous season, but that's obviously an extreme unknown, and we'd make that known in the reports. Like, hey, you can't really rely on this as much. And as you get later in the year, with more data, it becomes more consistent. But yeah, it's really hard with an unknown because you don't know what you're going to get. There's a lot of turnover, and I'm sure that's what USC is thinking right now. They're obviously going to do their best to prepare, but at the end of the day, Orgy's an X factor that you can't really prepare for in a lot of ways. So excited to see what it looks like.
Great stuff. Tyler, question. So how much stuff in game are you coming back from series? Like you come back and gather everyone together and say, this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this out here. This is maybe an opportunity. Like how much input do you guys have? Can you go over to Kirk Campbell and be like, hey man, this is what's going on? Or even
look at the iPad and see what it
Coach
says.
Bell and say, I'm seeing this out here on the ground. How much do they take that and your voice into consideration?
That's every series. Really, we do that. Every series, the receivers gather together, and it's really helped this year with the iPads because you can, see it in real time. So yeah, I mean that's something where maybe we run a play and it didn't go how we wanted to, but we see a little adjustment or we see this is something we can come back to. And just other plays or I might not have got looked at or something like that. And just going back and, showing we sit right next to the quarterback. So talking to them too.
Yeah.
So, getting on the same page, being able to see it on the video, and just, overall just trying to communicate so we all on the same page.
I love it. Jonas Meltzer, you're fantastic. I love you, buddy. Thanks for coming in and joining us. Stick around a little bit more and good luck to you.
And appreciate what you did for Michigan behind the scenes and for players.
You helped
out a lot. The work you did to help prep the work that Tyler did. So thank you, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Appreciate it, guys.
And Tyler, that is great. You guys were a very prepared team last year. I feel like you guys were very deep and everybody did their homework. Mm-hmm. Everybody prepared and it felt like you guys knew what you were up against. You knew all the possibilities, and not just you, but the backups too, and building that depth. It's hard. That was the deepest team I've ever seen last year. But let me ask, you see a guy like Ike Awana or Rayshon Benny stepping up, and they both have played really well, kind of developing that depth on the defensive line. Are you seeing sort of the depth now starting to build a little bit? And nothing replaces game reps, but are you seeing a little bit of that depth being built?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like you said, it's great to see guys like Ike and Ray, anybody else that gets in there, and the game doesn't drop off. So
that's the thing.
That's the best thing for us is when you especially with us being like receivers on the defense, is like you sit back and then you hear Ike's name, Ike was on the tackle, and then that's, you happy for Ike, happy that he's making plays, and, also understanding though, like, okay, Ike's in there making plays, so that's, he's stepping up. And just, anybody else is going to step up and be ready when their name's called.
What do you see in a transfer? And I know you go against him in practice from time to time, but from Amir Hall, he's looked pretty good so far. What we've seen, he's made some great pass breakups. He's usually in the right position where he needs to be.
Good
What
tackles.
have you seen from him?
And
you
tackles.
made some great tackles and laid some hits on dudes. Yeah. Do you see him factoring in further as the season continues?
Yeah, I think so for sure. Just being a newer guy to the team, it might take some time a little bit maybe to get worked into the game plan, I guess. But I mean, he's showed that he can play, so he's not somebody I'm worried about. He's somebody I like being out there, and just like y'all said, he's physical. So I like him. I like him on our side, and I like him making plays. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he'll do throughout the year.
Yeah, I like that he has Josh Wallace's number, because there's a little bit of Josh Wallace.
A little bit, but I think he's a thumper, which is it's been fun to kind of watch him lay some people out, or at least put some hits on them. Do we have anybody else? And I don't know if we have anyone else in the queue wanting to ask questions. All right, no more guests. We might wrap this up. Tyler, you've been, yeah. We're going to redo our intro of the whole thing, but so should we do that right now, Jay?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's redo, Tyler. It's like let's start it all over again. And but before we go, I want to get your prediction for the game. How do you see it going? How do you see this game against USC? And for real, like, what is not the plan? I don't want to give anything away, but how do you see this thing playing out based on how you feel like the team has taken these first 3 games, what we've learned, what we need to improve on, and all that other stuff, and with a tough USC team coming in? How do you see it playing out?
I see it as being a good physical game. Definitely with us being, more detailed than we have in the past week. That's something we've been focused on, and I see it being a great game, and obviously, see us coming out with the win.
Obviously, are you more comfortable? Let me ask you this question: is the team more comfortable with a low-scoring game or a high-scoring game? How do you want to see it?
I mean, I would love to see a high-scoring game. That means a lot of touchdowns, a lot of opportunities for us to make plays. So,
first game USC and Michigan in Ann Arbor since '58. That's on 1958. That's unbelievable.
First time we played them since the Rose Bowl. Back in 2007, maybe?
Yes, 2007, and we're 4-6 against them. But I mean, it's the classic Pac-10, Big Ten. Back in the day when it was the Pac-10, I remember it was like the Pac-8. That's how old we are, Tyler. But the Pac-10, Big Ten matchup, which what's interesting, and we could do a whole other hour with you on this, which is I believe, and maybe I wonder what you think on the inside, that there's going to be the SEC is going to be just this super Southern conference of like 20 teams. And then the Big Ten is going to be the super Northern conference of like another 20 teams. And you can't play everybody. So they'll just divide up into divisions, and the divisions will be like the old Pac-10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It'll be like
it's like it's heading towards. So
I think we're heading towards
Rand,
that.
what's your prediction, Rand? How do you feel? I'll put you on the spot. Good looking.
Put me on the spot. I think USC they have not seen a defense like this. I was nervous after the LSU game. Because I didn't know how good LSU was, and I was nervous. And I'm like, of course they beat up on a tomato can their second week. But like they're against LSU, I thought, and then I watched LSU play, and I'm like, maybe they're not as good as we think they are. And so I think our defense is going to hopefully smack them. I hope we get off the field on third down. But I think I'm excited. Tyler, I got a lot riding on you. I really do believe that the Alex Orji era of this team, I think it's all about matchups. Like I said, I want to see Donovan and Khalil Mullings in the backfield together and just run Donovan out wide, and it'll open things up for everybody. Line them up in the slot. I don't care. Like, just start to make the matchups difficult on them, and I think it's going to stress their defense. And I think we win the game 20-16.
Wow,
how about that?
Nice.
Jay, what about you?
I think USC's offensive line, will not be as good as Texas's. I believe that. I believe they've shown that. I think Texas was an anomaly. I think with 4, we can get pressure on them and hold guys back and keep them in good zone prevent defense to, I think, oftentimes keep them from driving all the way down and scoring touchdowns. If we can hold them to field goals a lot, and we can give our offense a chance to get a couple touchdowns, I think we can win this game. I think 21-14. 21-17. I don't know. I said field goals. So 21-15. How about 5 field goals? So I just think that there's a real opportunity for our defense to set the tone for the new look offense to make its way in and do what they do.
We're going to bring in.
That's my prediction.
We're going to bring in one last. Oh, he dropped out. All right. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Tyler. We're going to redo the open of this thing. But Tyler, thank you so much for your time. I know your time is valuable. You took an hour to spend with us. Thank you for talking to the fans. Thanks for talking to us. I'm glad we know you now. We'll see you when we're at Michigan. We'll give you a shout out. But you're a great kid, and I wish you all the best this year. I know that like great stuff is in the future for you, and especially this year. I feel like you're going to have a couple of breakout games where you are going to be the factor that causes us to win a tough game against a good team. So we believe in you, and excited for. We got one more participant who's trying to get in the last second. Hang on, Tyler. You're doing great. You're almost out of here. I promise.
Randy gave you a eulogy at your funeral.
He's still alive.
Just all positive comments, man.
You want me to say negative stuff to him?
No, don't say anything.
I'm not going to be negative to Tyler Morris. Come on, to Timo. All right, Seth is coming in. Hang on right now. I hope it's Seth from. This is our guy. From MGO Blog. Tyler, we were mentioning him before. He is one of the 2 guys who created and helped or helped runs MGO Blog, and he's one of our favorite people and favorite Michigan people. Seth Fisher, tell us what's going on and any question you have for Tyler.
Oh man, well, Brian created the site. I just came in and turned it into a business for him.
That's right. You guys had
Tyler, I just wanted to ask you, man, what's something the fans need to know? Like, what is something that like you guys wish the fans knew about? You guys are out there that tell us some of or maybe some of the guys that we need to know about are coming up. Like, there's all sorts of mystery in there, and can't ask you for all the secrets. But like, what we're the ones who inform fans. I'd like to know what you guys think we need to be telling them more often.
I would say that we got a lot of guys that can make plays. I think we got a lot of people that the fans don't necessarily know just because they haven't proven themselves and they haven't had huge games yet, or haven't done a whole lot in past years. But that was because we had, like you said, like 17, 18 guys that are in the NFL. Now. So, I mean, it's and when you got that in front of you and you coming in as a freshman or sophomore, sometimes you got to wait your turn. So this year we got a lot of guys that are going to step up and make plays when they need to be made. We're confident in that as a team.
All right, give me one guy.
Yeah, give us a couple of guys that we're like, we should be on the lookout for them.
Fred Moore, I think you guys saw a little bit of him last game, but he's a guy that I'm excited for, just because he's runs great routes, and I've seen him make a lot of plays. Brandon Hillman, safety, he's physical. He'll come down and hit somebody. That's just a couple, but there's a lot of guys that I'm looking forward to, stepping up and make plays.
Seth, that's a great question. So Hogan Hansen gets a touchdown in the last game, and I'm sure everybody on the team was like, "Yeah, Hogan Hansen." And there were people in the crowd who were like, "Wait, who?
Who? 80? Who is that?
80?
Bellevue, Washington. Come on."
I mean, dude, I love him, and I know about him, and Seth knows about him, and Tyler knows about him.
He made a great catch on that pass. It came in a little low because it was looped over that guy, the outstretched defender. He made a great pass, turned, and then he drew contact as he went in the end zone. That's a pro play, man.
Yeah, is that a guy you're like, all right, this guy is the future of the tight end room is going to be great?
Yeah, I mean, I think him and Brady Prescorn have great role models to look up to right now, with Colston and Brad and Marlon. So I think as they get older and show that they can make more plays and kind of see how it's supposed to look. Those are 2 players that, like I said before, I think will step up, and even if it's not this year, in these next couple of years, they'll they know what it looks like, and I think they'll have great careers here.
Seth, what else do you got?
Oh man, like that was the basic question. I would just say like that one play you're talking about with Hansen. What I love about that play is that ASU thinks Michigan wants to get Edwards a touchdown, and so he goes one way, and the entire defense is like
Yeah.
So that's okay.
No one's following number 80 across the field.
So that's a great point.
You have mentioned this on MGO blog, certainly on this week's podcast. If you guys are watching this and you're subscribing to it, you should. But you did mention that with Alex Orji, there should be a lot of misdirection. There should be a lot of orbit motion, all this stuff that like confuses a defense and gives them 5 options of what could happen. And that was a great example of like, hey, you think it's this, but it's this.
Are you excited for that in an Alex Orji run offense, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I think, however we can get the ball down the field is, that's what I'm excited for. So, whatever the game plan is, I'm ready for it. And that's something I feel like we every week are trying to, I feel like that's what a game plan is trying to find ways to disguise what you want to do and, make the other team think, you're doing this when you're really doing this. So.
By the way, that's a Kalel Mullings jersey behind Seth Fisher, not a Mike Hart jersey, even though we love Mike Hart. That just is that's what, so just the people in the know that this guy he's having a year this year and he's going to break out. So
that's what I do every year, Tyler. I rewatch the season before the season, like before the new season starts. I rewatch every game, and then like the player that's just kind of getting me up. Like
so
the one who's just, like getting pumped for the season.
You know what jersey you're going to have back behind you next year? Number 8,
Tyler Morris.
Morris. He's going to have some breakout games, Seth. I believe it.
Well, it's got to be a senior, so you gotta turn down the NFL for a year, Tyler, if you want to be up on my wall.
We need you, man.
We'll work on it. We'll work on the NIL on our end to keep him around.
We'll work on our end. Seth, thank you. And again, for anybody who isn't subscribing or listening to MGO blog, please, we love it so much. And we're gonna let Tyler go. We're gonna redo the intro, but Tyler, thank you so much for your time. Good luck to you, and we appreciate you, man. Go beat USC, man. Go Blue.
Appreciate you having me on.
Go Blue, man.
All right, go Blue. Thank you.
Go Blue. There you go. All right, let's do the Tyler Morris, amazing. And thanks to everyone who participated in this. This was a blast.
This is a very cool thing. If this is your first time on Prediction, if you're a general sports fan, look, we may be back on this, doing this kind of show before the Ohio State game. We love interacting with our fans. We love getting a chance to talk to the players themselves. Tyler was amazing. He was forthcoming. He was cool. He had a lot
honest about a lot of stuff. He didn't, and again, because you don't want to give anything away in terms of game plans and whatnot, but very, very honest about the team, who we should be looking forward to. And he's excited about the game. And you know what, as we sit here right now, the truth is, Jay, I tend to get at times like pessimistic about things, but I don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, I don't know how good LSU is. I don't know how good. I think USC is a great team, but I don't know. And they're coming in here.
Here's what we know. We know Lincoln Riley is a great offensive mind.
And he's had 2 weeks to prepare, so he's going to be tough. But I don't know if LSU's defense is as good as ours.
Here's what we also know. What does a pessimist want more than anything in the world, Randy?
To be proved wrong.